Okay. All
All right,
right.
live. And as people are might see if anyone's live, we're live. We're just doing some quick testing real quick before we begin.
Yeah, precisely.
Streaming on YouTube, X, and Instagram for Dr. Shine. That's the yeah, Dr. Shine Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
It's you should be seeing it and you pop up in your window in Instagram.
I think let's see. Add a landscape. Remove this destination. And okay, now I need to add a new destination.
I saw that one away. So you're adding a new one.
Yeah. I think I know what to do now. I know what I kind of
Getting this all set up
yeah, getting all set up
with
with
Instagram.
live.
We'll start here momentarily.
And can you give me that title again? It's
We are
breaking.
talking about breaking through the noise and exciting upcoming projects.
Yeah. Save changes. Okay, technology.
All right, so it's back up. You should be seeing the live video there now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes, I see it. Excellent. All right.
So it's been a crazy last couple weeks. We've been talking about doing this. I know that stuff has been coming up. It's been Thanksgiving, a lot of things. What are you grateful for today? All that. So let's just start there. I like to start out with what are you excited about and or grateful for?
Yes. Well, I'm grateful that I fundamentally, this is my first time being truly in recovery with my family. And that was really exciting to be able to be just with my close family and my extended family and be able to share all that time and all the love with them and now being more present. So I was especially grateful for that.
Welcome to the show, Army Una, as well. Just shouting out to the chat there. Questions, if you have any questions, show up in the chat. I can even pop in the link. You
Yeah.
can come
And
join us on screen as
okay.
well.
Hi, Army Una. Good to see you. So, yeah, we're kind of talking
How you
about
doing?
what we're grateful for this Thanksgiving. And I'm a musician and content creator building up my business now. And I'm super excited to be working on a new upcoming music project. And to our friend, yes, we are friends. And
You're still in Texas, by the way. This is just an
yeah,
informal talk,
yeah, I'm in
podcast talk.
Texas. Yeah.
Texas, yeah. Austin area.
Yep. Near Austin.
I've been in Dallas for the last. We're looking to get back to the Houston area
Yeah.
myself.
It's
So like
humid up there.
humid. It's been humid like even in Dallas. Like it's been technically before like
Yeah.
4 years ago
Actually, it got
drier,
cold today. It was interesting.
and
It
it's
got
getting colder too.
yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm loving that. It was cold and gray today, which is it's been a big change. And I had a brisk walk this morning, and I had a good I spent some time doing like my morning ritual is walking. I recorded a video and then I did some like prayer, and some stuff happened over Thanksgiving within my family that kind of brought up a lot of emotions for me, especially being in early recovery now, new. So I had to kind of process that, and it was very good for me, I think, this morning to sort of just like have that space and go out in the cold. Cold is when you step out into the cold, it has a really good way of just refreshing you and cleansing you.
So what's been new? I know this is the third time can come back on to my podcast. This is the third time, and what's been
Yeah.
new?
Well,
Last time you had your friend, your cat friend, join right behind you.
yeah, and what's new is we do have more cats. I don't think we'll
More
see them
cat.
now, but they're around. But I would say the biggest change is that I'm no longer teaching anymore. I was in education, but now I'm pivoting fully into content creation and music. I'm working on a music project right now, Battle Hymn of the Republic. It's really exciting. It's glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. If you've ever heard that song before. So, and to our friend in the chat, we're not brothers, but we are brothers as far as our love for this country and just love for working hard and making things happen.
So
But
as the Christians would say, like every brothers and sisters in that extent,
yeah,
yeah.
brothers and sisters in Christ, I like that. I'm totally with that. So,
What did we want to talk about today?
well, yeah.
Just
So the music project that I'm working on, this glory, glory, hallelujah, glory, glory, hallelujah, is called Battle Hymn for the Republic. And I'm not sure if anybody has heard that song who's listening, but it is a Civil War song. So it came out of the Civil War, and it's a patriotic song, very patriotic. It's like a hymnal, so spiritual, patriotic, and it really kind of inspires a sense of pride in our country and feelings of neighborliness with others.
very cool, very cool. Like, how did this? What made you think of this project to get it kicked off and started?
A big part of it came just out of my recovery naturally. As I'm entering into recovery, I'm really finding myself. I'm learning new ways of being and kind of coming into a new existence. It's I try to not use cheesy language such as being reborn, but it is a lot like that in some kind of ways. I feel like I'm living for the first time in my life, like due to how I grew up, the generational trauma that I experienced, and the ways that I coped with it with substance use. And, the result of the generational trauma was essentially just substance use, was depression and anxiety. And the treatment for that became a substance use disorder. And that's really kind of, if you're looking at mental health today and destigmatizing and really piecing apart what actually is going on from a medical perspective, that's essentially what I went through. And so, in a lot of ways, my brain is just coming online fully for the first time since June 16th or June 12th. I'm sorry. Um, where'd I get the 16th from? I don't know. But yeah, June 12th, which is very cool because it just so happens to be my son's birthday and my dad's birthday as well. So, my sobriety is very sacred to me. My recovery is very sacred to me. And this project, working on it seems to be a way of kind of helping others who might be lost. What I want to do with it is kind of inspire people to realize that we actually, as humans, have more in common with each other than we might realize. Everyone is so at each other's throats these days online. And it's really kind of too bad because the world is a beautiful place and there's room for everybody to just be and live and work hard and help one another. But we don't trust one another, right now, very much. There's very low trust in institutions. There are a lot of good reasons for that. I mean, there are things that are really screwed up both on the left and the right of the political spectrum. I'd say maybe more so on the far left, but now we're seeing backlashes on the far right. But I really think that we need to be more willing to listen to each other and open mind. If we can treat each other as neighbors and as individuals, then we can have a chance of actually rebuilding this country and doing something good. And in some ways, Sam Harris has said this as well. I feel like I'm shouting into the void, or in this case, speaking softly out into the void. But it's something I take really seriously, genuinely.
Yeah, neighbors, not with a D or an R label, just
Yeah.
like what else can you say besides that? Like, neighbors,
Well, so
be more
let's talk
neighborly.
about labels actually for a second. Labels are freaking interesting, man, because if you think about, so okay, left hemisphere and right hemisphere thinking, they have had a lot of chances in science to study left hemisphere versus right hemisphere brain activity via stroke patients. Now, left brain versus right brain kind of got cartoonized in a lot of ways in the 60s and 70s, I think it was. And so a lot of people kind of found it to be like pop science and like, oh, that's not really a real thing. But there's actually a lot more to it than a lot of people, I think, give it credit for. So left hemisphere brain thinking is more like good, bad, right, wrong, this or that. Whereas right hemisphere brain thinking has more to do with pattern recognition and facial expressions and emotions and things like that. So it's as though our culture has become much more left hemisphere oriented in the way it's thinking. There are a lot of people who are a lot more educated on this than me, who have made very compelling cases for it, how it's like on a macro level across the society, the left hemisphere dominated type of thinking. And this is also something you get with toxic femininity. Left hemisphere dominated thinking is sort of this survival mode thinking, like frantic in the moment. And, ultimately you need both parts of the brain, right, to work together. So you don't want to have just one part be totally dominant, because if you think about it, if you have right hemisphere brain being totally dominant, then you're just this free flowing artist. You love everybody, but maybe you don't get any, and you're meditating all the time, but eventually people are going to come and take your furniture and your house. So we need an integrated brain, and we need an integrated society. And the left and the right, as far as the brain, that has nothing to do with politics on the left and right. So don't people read into that too much. The left and the right politics thing, that actually came from literally I think it was the British Parliament or something, where they actually had people that they're like, all right, you guys, you sit on the left, and you guys, you sit on the right. That's where the left right thing literally came from.
Yeah, when did all this like dividing start? Like, was it the British Parliament or they wanted to
Uh,
divide us?
It's hard to say. British Parliament, yes. I think also the French Revolution. If you look
Oh,
at,
really?
yeah, if
Back
you
then?
study, yeah, if you study the French Revolution, a lot of the sickness that we have in our culture now that is present on the far left really started in the French Revolution. There's a great YouTube channel called "What If This Something." Oh man, I'm so bad that I could probably look it up here real quick. What if? Because he's amazing, and I want to give him a shout out. You know,
Can you pull it up and you can do like a share and pop it up on the screen
yeah,
even?
yeah, for sure. That'd be great. What if the
But I was going like with as on the side of like left and right. I've been noticing a lot of things as you're pulling this up, and just left and right, we tend to agree on the same things, just in a different way. Like we don't
yeah,
maybe see it to start, but we're agreeing on a lot of the same things in different ways, if that makes
yeah, yeah,
sense.
and just being able to kind of talk about them, like it talk about things in an intelligent way and be respectful to others, like because it's not to say that everything that I the more that I know, the more I realize I don't know. So here I'll
I've
do a
heard
quick
that
screen
before.
share. I'll do a quick screen share. I think it's the plus button down here at the bottom right.
Yeah.
So share screen.
Yeah, so I'll see here pop up
Share
here on my
screen,
end.
and let's do my
He's
vid.
introducing this YouTube channel that he came across that he was starting to talk about, and it's like might as well just
Yeah,
pop it up on the screen.
yeah, hell yeah. So this
All right,
channel,
there it is.
what if alt hist? So what if alternate history? This guy is incredible. And you can look here for yourself at some of the topics on his YouTube channel. But so he talks about, and he's not the only one, many other people talk about this with the French Revolution. What's so interesting is that in the French Revolution, okay, here's a really spooky parallel, dude. In the French Revolution, they started romanticizing like political assassinations, essentially, like death. And you think about the Charlie Kirk murder, right? The political assassinations and the way people on the left, they're like, they're talking. You see interviews of people on the actual news, like professionals, talking about how, like, oh, you have this kid, and he's like, his lover is this transgender person, and like, he just was so emotional and enraged, and they romanticize this in their heads. That's exactly what happened in the French Revolution. And the French Revolution, well, for those of you who don't know what happened in the French Revolution, the French Revolution ended with the guillotines. So people's heads were chopped off and they would roll through the streets.
Hmm.
Um, I think I can say that on YouTube without, I know certain trigger words to avoid, but the guillotine is a real thing. And one of the things I say, like on X, whenever I talk to people who are just bashing each other online, is like, you really don't want to know what the 21st century of the guillotine is going to look like, do you? Like, trust me, you don't. The 21st century of the guillotine is it's going to be monstrous, whatever it is. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be filmed up close in 4K and uploaded to social media accounts. And we're going to have people celebrating it, just like how we saw people celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk and the murder of that CEO that was assassinated, and the way that they celebrate attacks on ICE officers. That's not to say that ICE officers are always doing the right thing and that they couldn't be nicer or restructure the way they're doing that. But a lot of people simply are, when you go out there with clubs and weapons and different things and just this hatred and animosity against them, what do you really expect is going to happen? Like, are you using that rational, right part of your brain to see the big picture, or are you using the left survival part of your brain to see things in black and white? You know what I mean? It's so obvious that our culture is very sick and infected. The only question is, how bad is it? How doomed are we? And can we pull back from the brink?
So if I'm hearing this correctly, like we're just like two dudes talking, like artists editors, podcasters.
Hmm.
You can look up on your own too, do your own thinking and everything. I would strongly encourage your own
Yes,
thinking.
look at it. These are
But
a lot
like,
of these are histories that look at the history for yourself. For of the French Revolution, and you can judge for yourself the parallels. And that's what ultimately anybody should, I believe, do, is like as an individual, be an individual and judge for yourself, learn about it for yourself. I totally agree.
so the left hemisphere, left side is more black and white. It doesn't let you like be open minded, right? You can be a little more open minded, and
Yeah.
there's gray
Exactly.
introduced.
It gets even more interesting. They've had people who are stroke victims, they've given them like they give them instructions to do a drawing, right? So the people
Mm-hmm.
with the damaged right hemisphere, where the right hemisphere is not working, so they're operating from the left, they can't complete the picture. They only draw part of the
Mm.
picture, but they think they've drawn the whole picture, and the people with the right hemisphere working and the left hemisphere damaged, they draw a whole complete picture. Isn't that interesting?
Hmm.
Yeah. So you sort of think about that, you can apply that to, essentially, you've got so many people, and this is on the both the political left and the political right, who think that they're right in their assertions, and they're so proud. I don't believe in calling people narcissists, but I think that most people and everybody is somewhere on a spectrum of narcissism. It's just a matter of how far on that spectrum are you. Like, are you deep in the bowels of narcissism, like I have some family who's a little tangled up in that? Or are you more, far away from that? Everybody's somewhere on the spectrum. And the thing is, most narcissists go undiagnosed because they don't realize. Well, here I am saying the word narcissist. I did not mean that. I apologize. But most people who are on the narcissist spectrum don't realize that they are, because essentially the way that that comes about is as a survival strategy. It's a survival tool. So um they
It's not
that's
really about right or wrong, being right, wrong, making people right or wrong.
they don't do it on purpose either.
Yeah.
They don't do it on purpose, and it's how they learned how to survive when they were kids in a not ideal environment. In this for people who were narcissists, usually in psychology, they found that one of two things have happened. Either somebody has given them so much praise and built them up in ways that are unreasonable and crazy, and not allowed them to fail, or the more common way is uh, somebody essentially never getting a chance to win or be right. Like, everything they do is wrong, nothing they do is good enough. And that was the way I grew
Mm.
up. It was in a very highly high standards sort of environment. And hello to new people who are watching this. We're just chatting about the political far left and right. We're chatting about how Tom, you sum it up. What are we talking about now?
Being together and not just R, D, L, R, left, right, black, white. There's in between.
Exactly. Thinking for yourself. This is about
It's
freedom.
about, if anyone fans of the Karate Kid, it's about balance.
Aw. Yeah, balance.
Danielson.
And Danielson. This has been a while. So, I see the comment. I'm driving around a bit, and okay. So, yeah, I guess. So where was I last on that?
Jesse in Wisconsin. Stay safe, be safe for the drive, but thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
So, like, projects coming up, like you mentioned, Battle Hymn.
Yeah, so I was kind of explaining the backdrop of like, the seriousness of what's going on in this country and just why I think a project like this will catch on fire in a good way. Like why I think it'll essentially be this viral thing. It's going to be like medicine for the soul. And actually, um, you know, my music brand here, Dr. Shine, is good medicine. And I can show you this real quick if it loads. Let's see. Am I still sharing?
I put it back up. I took it down to
Oh,
where both on screen, but I put it back
nice.
up.
Ah, very sly.
This
Okay.
StreamYard, these new online streaming softwares is quite nice.
Yeah, I dig it. So Dr. Shine here. So it's kind of interesting that I didn't even really think about this when I chose the moniker Dr. Shine. But music is medicine in a certain sense. So, and actually, this is an insanely good book that I would advise everybody read. But let's just make this a little bit larger so that
I've
it's all
I've
about.
read that book.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah, we can maybe talk about that here in a little bit as well.
It's
But
been 4 years, so maybe there's some rust from it, and maybe you have to relive it, go back over it.
yeah, and I wonder if actually, do you have this sound coming through?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, maybe here we could even have this.
you may have your echo cancellation and to remove background noise whenever you may to share. That always comes up when you're sharing sound. The what's it called? The echo cancellation and reduce mic background noise.
I have my echo cancellation on.
So turn it off when you're sharing. Just turn it off if you're sharing anything with sound. I see it playing. I'm not hearing it quite. Oh, not hearing anything yet.
Did any sound come through on your end?
No, I heard a little bit, but not. It hadn't been when you were just
Oh,
starting.
so I guess so. I was dancing with myself. Oh, we got a comment. Yeah,
Having
having the power to control the narrative is like the fourth branch of the government, I feel like. Yeah, that's actually a really interesting comment. Like we need somehow like our country needs a new narrative. We need a new story. This is Jesse in Wisconsin. I love that comment. We need to tell a new story in this country.
I'm
Um,
thinking of the fourth estate. Like that was the media has become was the fourth estate, but it's an interesting point.
yeah, yeah. And the media has failed us so deeply, so badly. Like they're so sensationalist. Like, have you ever seen that movie Civil War
Oh,
by Alex Garland?
I've been a part of the media. I know like we're sensationalize this headline to get clicks or attention.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Do have you seen that movie by Alex Garland, Civil War,
I
by any
have
chance?
not.
Dude, it is so worth watching, and I'll tell you why it's so relevant. It's because of the role the media plays in it. So the main characters in this movie, so it's a civil war in America, right? People are dying in America. Americans fighting other Americans. So what's so interesting is here. I'll go back to this. So Americans fighting other Americans. The central figures are these media people who are going throughout the movie. They're trying to reach the White House to get an interview with the president. And it shows how the media it are these, like, they're just lusting for violence. They're trying to get this up close. It's like they want the sensational violence. They're so curious about it. We're so curious about just carnage and wreckage and death that, and there's so much money in it, that it feeds itself. It's like a snake eating its tail in a way. And so, where we
Mm.
should have this fourth branch of government, or fourth monitoring piece to our society, instead we've got this snake eating its tail. We've got this terrible thing happening.
Started off as a good thing, but it just
Yeah. Well,
went
and
crazy. That's a
that's a
good analogy. Snake eating his tail.
That's a great point too, and that analogy has been used in so many different things. And actually, I shouldn't characterize it in an only bad way, because that itself is, it's not sensible to be black and white about any particular things. Um, so to back up a little bit, I could say, the media is complicated, and you have a lot of people in independent media now that, like, they're doing their best, but they essentially, they just don't know.
Like how it started. There was when we first got the first evening news, the hour of free news for like you have a station network, and for that 1 hour in the evening, it was supposed to be free to the public, and that was your news
Yeah,
time. That was
totally
and
different world now. It's like, why?
yeah, and now with YouTube, it's totally and YouTube wherever like all these different platforms that independent channels are on now. Like,
Yeah,
how do you that hours blew up? It's completely changed.
yeah, different world. So
Highlighting
we got
comments
another
was
comment.
beginning.
Hi, all. Jesus is God. If you want to accept Jesus as your personal savior, say the following prayer, salvation prayer. Yes. Well, I mean, so it's so interesting. When I grew up in with Christianity, but I wasn't really presented with real, genuine Christianity. Like, it was a good attempt, but I think that, like, my parents were not as invested in Christianity in their hearts as they and maybe wished that they would have been. They did their best, and everybody does their best. And so I try to be charitable on that. I don't want to hold resentments or anything like that. I love my parents, all of them. They've done so much for me, and I'm so grateful for them. So I have to always make sure that I say that as well. But, everybody has a hard time and hard lives, and, if we're telling the truth about it, they grew up with, not, I think, the deepest understanding of what Christianity can really do and what it's all about. When you accept Christ as your savior, what you're really doing is you're recognizing that you're already saved. It's already okay. You can relax. You can just breathe, and that's okay. And it's something that I'm doing. It's like I have a tug of war with that now, like, um, just even in the scope of this conversation, because 'cause I'm so new in recovery, like, sometimes I'll doubt myself, and, when we have these voices of self-doubt that come up, um, but yeah, true Christianity is about that surrendering and recognition that salvation is already here, and it's here in the here and now. It's not about this, going to heaven later thing. I mean, I don't know about that. I am no expert. I have not studied the afterlife. I haven't been there. So, uh, to me, what Christianity is more about is the here and now, and that salvation and oneness with Christ, and what's behind Christ is just that surrendering that things are good and you are loved. There is love. When there is love in here, you can project that to others. You can be charitable to others. And so what happens is, and this is actually another great thing about that channel, the YouTube channel that I had recommended, and, I think I gotta probably bring this to a close here pretty soon, as we're reaching the hour mark. But this YouTube channel as well, um oh, here. Sorry. Done lost my train of thought. I was gonna see if I could find the video. Well, here, Tom, what are your thoughts on that? Because, I had kinda gone on for a while.
On which one?
Well, so just that notion of, like, so the church, people who grow up in the church, with Christianity, they wanna believe that so many people wanna believe that they're good Christians, but they often don't realize that it takes a deeper sense of surrender, a much deeper spirituality to really do what Christ is telling us to do.
I
That's
think
really what
100%. I hear it every week at watching this online church. I gone Woodlands Church. Shout out to Houston area. That would, and you said it. What he would say often is, you're already saved as a Christian. And a lot of them like, well, I don't have to do anything. I'm already saved. It's because this one dude guy back 2,000 years ago something did this, and he saved us all. We don't have to do anything because of that. It's already been done. We just have to surrender, and I agree with that.
Yeah. What if I'm gonna
And
search
me being growing up in Italian, a lot of like European, growing up Italian Catholic, the fanatic Christians, if you want to call that.
This is the video that I remembered I was trying to look for. So the four religions fighting over America. Fascinating. So essentially, what many Christians are, and like what I grew up in, was not really a Christian household. It was a Darwinism. It was a Darwinist household.
Survival. There's that word, survival of the fittest.
Yeah,
Darwinism.
survival of the fittest. So, and also these religions, they don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can combine things. Like I really combine Christianity and Buddhism in big ways, but Buddhism is not especially present in the United States. So his video title is actually "The Four Religions Fighting Over America." And I actually forgot that was the title.
The religion of machines, machine worship.
Yeah, out west, and dude, his points in this are just incredible. Marxism, obviously. So we've got the far left with Marxism, as I kind of
Was that
mentioned.
Marxism? I from here I'm looking to make it bigger. I thought I see Marxism, but I guess
Marxism. No, Marxism. The resurgence of Marxism, which is so stupid. They've tried it so many times. How many people have to die? I'm like, really? How many people have to die?
That X looks like an H on the smallest screen.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, do we need to try the Marxist experiment again? And like, actually, I don't even think that people on the far left want pure Marxism. I think that they're just so nihilistic now that they just want to burn everything down. They just want everyone around them to die, and they don't want people to reproduce. And that's why you see the birth rates declining so much as well. But I'm talking the extreme, far left, like Antifa type things. But if you,
I always said it like it's like, do you really want that? I don't think you do. If you knew what you were asking for, I don't
they
think
know
you'd
not
actually be wanting it.
They know
Like,
not
who
what
wants
they
to
ask for.
be equal to everyone? That's communism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually,
And
equal. We want equal opportunity. Not all people are equal.
well, and on the topic of communism, because a lot of people say, well, actually socialism's not so bad. And what I would quickly say to that before we move on is just that, so there's this tug of war, at least in our Western culture, between capitalism and socialism, where the United States has very rarely been, I don't think it's ever been truly one of those, like purely capitalist. There's always been some socialist element where the government has had some. I mean, maybe in the early days, I would have to go back and like really study, but the bottom line is that generally the United States, as we know it, especially, um, is a blend of communism and socialism. So you have social things that control things because in extreme capitalism, it gets really, really ugly. Like the whole oh, what's the guy's name? Rockefeller, who with the oil essentially made a monopoly and bought everybody and everything and strong-armed everybody else out of business and controlled all means of production. And it did allow prices to go really low, but it also allowed him so much power and control over everything that essentially made him a tyrant, or it gave him the powers of a tyrant. So that's why we have this huge wealth inequality in this country, is because of that capitalism gone rogue. So capitalism can be very, very destructive if it's not put in check with guardrails. And socialism as well. Socialism is pure socialism is worse than capitalism because it's a small group of people that centrally control everyone else's stuff and control things, and it becomes corrupt, and essentially it results in mass death and starvation and ineptitude. And that experiment has been tried over and over and over. And in its most extreme form, it's communism, and it's a bad idea. Don't do it. you know.
So, like, capitalism with a hint of socialism, but you don't want to go
I'd
far
say,
too
well,
far off
no,
the deep end.
I'd say cap, not even just a hint, maybe a healthy, tug of war between capitalism and socialism, where they both have some power and they both are doing some good things, and they're both trying to be genuine. That's the thing. If capitalists are being genuine, it's actually like really great. But the problem is you get to that whole Darwinist religion thing. The thing with Darwinism is survival of the fittest, and it's like, yeah, the strong survive, and if you're not strong enough, then too bad for you. That's the way I grew up. I grew up in a situation where it was like, where it was essentially like, I had a broken home, and there was a lot of pain, a lot of things happened, and without getting into the details, uh the Darwin approach was basically like, yeah, these kids, they're not acting right. That sucks for them. They're weird. Too bad. So that's the Darwin attitude. The Christian attitude is more like, is more loving and accepting. Let me love you before you learn to love yourself. Let me embrace you. Let me cherish this moment with you, and let me hold you and bring you up and help you to that to help you to take those next steps, especially for children. The Darwinist religion is especially, it's Darwinism is I think healthy and good in business to an extent, but so we need a blend of it. We need some Darwinist. There has to be some of that, because if you don't have that, then what do you have? You have like the whole left, what do you call it? Like initiatives where they're trying to hire.
Anarchy.
Well, it becomes anarchy when you try to hire people of like every different skin color and gender, and like, you can't say anything wrong. You can't
Now we're
hurt
going
anybody's
off
feelings,
merit and everything.
and you police. Yeah, yeah. Just like a merit is thrown out the door. You're policing the way people speak. So you need some Darwinism in business, especially, but with little kids, especially in your own family, that shouldn't be Darwinistic. And so when people get Darwinism like deeply in their heads, you can have kids who grow up feeling very lost and alone. And so, by proxy, without realizing it, that's where a lot of that generational trauma happens.
Can't help but think of one of my favorite all-time TV shows that I'd watched back. It stopped. It went on for 8 seasons. If you ever heard of Psych on TV, one of my favorite all-time episodes, and it
Psych. What do you
usually
like about it?
I like it's detective. It's doing detective work. They're helping with the police fight crime and everything, and but he does it in such a weird, like in a good way, like to be different. He didn't actually want to be police, but he likes doing what he does. So he found this thing to do what he likes to do as a psychic detective. And
Yeah.
everyone essentially knows on some level that it's BS, but he still continues with the charade. And at the beginning of the episode, it starts out with his dad teaching him how to be a cop. Like close your eyes. How many hats are in the room? That kind of thing. And he like gives him. It's the beginning episode is like 5 minutes of this test of him giving these detective training him on detective skills and everything. On like, close your eyes. How many hats are in the room? So
That's
that when
awesome.
I thought that brings like that sounds like it's a little Darwinism. He's bringing Darwinism into the
Yeah.
family by teaching him to how to survive.
Yeah, and honestly, it can be a really good thing. Like, but if you deliberately teach your kids, but the if you only have Darwinism, so what happens when your kids lose? What do you do? Do you let when they fail? Is it just like, oh, too bad, sucks for you? Do you let them? At what point do you intervene? At what point does a parent, like, do you let them die? No. So there's some point of intervention. So where's the intervention point? Because if it's true Darwin, it's so that's why everything is on a spectrum. But um if it's true Darwinism, it's just sort of like, well, only the strongest survive.
Bring in Jocko Willink. I saw on a podcast interview. He had one clip, and it's very I'll share it if I sound, but like if you ever heard of it, you know what I'm talking about. Where he he responds when someone comes up with something bad that happened. Jocko will respond and say, "I know what you can say. You can say good." Jocko says, "Good." And like give like a bad thing that
It didn't
would
kill you.
happen. Good. Like I'm trying to remember what we were just
It made you
talking about. Like
stronger.
you lost. Good.
Yeah.
Time to get better. It gives
Yeah.
you a chance to get better, to improve. Good.
Yeah, exactly. And you need that. So that's where Darwinism is needed. It's necessary to really have both. You need to have a blend because so it's like, the bad thing happened to you and it's like good. But so what about this? Let's game this imaginary scenario. So a bad thing happens to you and it's still happening to you. It's currently happening to you and you're down. Is it good then?
Good. Time to realize what you're doing isn't working.
What if What if it's a
Now, are you
matter?
picking up that signal that this thing you keep doing it, it's not working? Are you picking that up that it's not working? That's the question too.
Well, what if it's the person is being harmed by somebody else, like kind of put down, abused, or something, and they're just, and it's a matter of like they don't. Let's say they don't know the right skills, and that's why they're failing. Then
Ask,
is it
maybe
still
ask for
good?
help. I don't know how can you ask for help in that
So
situation.
this
He's
is
right.
this is where we start getting into that gray zone where I would argue that Darwinism starts to fail and we start needing something more charitable like Christianity.
Like a third party mentor type or
Generosity, the Christian generosity. So somewhere in that zone, there has to be somebody willing to reach out and mentor and teach and show love and decency and respect. Somewhere they need that.
and to all these what they say, give it all away. Like give the knowledge away. People need to hear, or people want to hear,
Yeah. You
to
can't take it
learn.
with you to your grave.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people who really care about the money that they've accumulated and they've amassed. And I didn't grow up. I was not taught a wealth mindset. And you know, like my parents, um, I have a parent now in particular who is he's accumulated a lot of wealth essentially by hoarding, but it's not a wealth mindset. You know, a wealth mindset takes into account the fact that we don't take that with us when we go. So it's very much about how you use that and the
As a tool.
decisions, yeah, as a tool, the decisions that you make. Wealth, real true wealth is a lot more than just money. And that's where Christianity, and so, when we're talking about those four religions fighting over America, and we talk about Darwinism versus Christianity, we really need those two kind of like in the struggle together, you know, like Christians need to grow a backbone. It's kind of like Christians with a backbone are freaking unstoppable, man. Like that's where you get the Crusades. That's where you get heroes. And
Mm.
that's so I believe in the power of stories, and me and my recovery right now, to be honest, um the way I think of myself now is I'm the hero of my own story. Why not? Why not be the hero of your own story?
Very cool.
Yeah. So, and I
Hero of
believe that
your
for,
own story.
yeah, be the hero of your own story. To do that though, you've got to have the backbone of Darwinism, but you've got to have the grace of Christianity. It doesn't have to be exclusively Christianity. Like Buddhism has that grace as well. Hinduism has that grace as well. Many things do. Islam, it gets a little more complicated. It has that grace, but it also has a lot of very dark stuff. And
I don't know what you call it, radicalism.
yeah, it has is Islam within their literature has a lot of very radical and kind of, if you follow what the actual texts, teachings, and laws say, does have a lot of stuff that is honestly not really conducive to good culture. And we're sort of seeing a lot of that play out. It's kind of like this. Some people call it the resurgence of like an Islamic dark ages or something like that. And it's because the culture, and now we're getting it on 4K. We're seeing like really tragic parts of Islamic culture in 4K, like the way that I've seen videos um, where they have like their women, like their daughters, like tied up, and they'll hit them with sticks to teach them things, and or they'll lock them in a closet that has like spikes on it to teach them lessons. And I saw these kids cornering a dog and just like prodding it with these like spear type things. And the dog, it looked like a golden retriever, type of dog that we would take on a walk. It was snarling, and it was cornered by these like 13, 12-year-old kids, a whole bunch of them. And to them, that stuff seems normal. And that's why with the migrant crisis in Europe and Britain, you've got all these people coming in from those cultures who are like essentially I can't say the word, I think, on YouTube, but they are doing these harmful acts to women, enacting violence upon women. And it's really tragic. And it's because, and then when they're pulled off of them, and the people are like, what are you doing? Like, we're arresting you. We're calling the cops and stuff. They're like, yeah, I'm not doing anything wrong. In Sharia law, it says that it's fine. And I need to make certain that I say that so many Muslims are not like that. So many Muslims are wonderful, beautiful, good, peaceful people. But we have a real problem with, I think, the part of that culture that behaves in that way, especially as it is mixing in the West. Because in places like Europe, where it's already mixed, it's like these two kind of corrosive, flammable substances have already mixed together, and it's an explosive situation. And I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems likely that people are going to be harmed.
And I don't know if I heard this. I heard it somewhere that like the when it comes to like pro reproduction and everything, like the reason why the Muslim men can have like 10 wives. I've heard
Yeah.
this recently too. It's their amplification.
Yeah,
Amplification.
it's the woman's jihad
They're
is
creating their. I think I heard it from you too.
outbreeding. Yeah.
Creating their army.
Yeah,
In a sense.
they're trying to essentially migrate to live among their enemies, and they use the term like Islamophobia to like kind of protect themselves and give themselves special status. And then the jihad is to outbreed their enemies and then take over the system peacefully, and then or peacefully if possible. But they don't want to keep to peace. And then once they've taken over the system, enact Sharia law, no more Western freedom,
Well,
because Sharia.
I heard one kind of land the plane. We're coming up to the hour, not top of the hour, but hour of this stream recording, and like to end on some good, thoughtful, provoking questions. And I know like
Yeah,
both of us have been. We were talking a little bit over the phone prior to us talking here right now on the pod.
yeah,
Both of us have mentioned we've gone through a healing in 2025 alone. Where like both of us kind of like I lost my job, laid off back in February. Still finding my thing of the direction of where I need to go. I think I'm getting closer and closer to it. But as you're talking, I was like, yeah, same thing kind of happened to me. I lost a job, but I've never been happier without that job because I never really liked that job to begin with.
yeah. I
So
had a
we've been going through both of a kind of a healing thing this entire
Yeah,
year.
parallel journeys. I had an experience like that with my Uncle John, who was also going through a very parallel healing journey as well. His I won't get into his story. He can tell his story, but as far as Oh, excuse me. I guess my stomach's telling me it's time to go and eat some dinner or something. But yeah, as far as like what you're saying, yeah.
And I like to like wrap it up or back to like tech. And you mentioned like in that video the religions that's just interesting. The machine uh
Yeah, we didn't get much into
versus everything. Maybe
the
in
mach-
the next time we can talk on that. Maybe do
Yeah,
like a
yeah, and
weekly
I
thing.
was like, I've been so completely unstructured, and I have like, so with now that I'm like newly kind of sober, I have this like I'm sort of recalibrating with my neurodivergence of ADHD, which sort of sends my attention span in lots of different directions. So like I'll randomly think of different things. So I apologize for being a little scatterbrained.
And
But I think
that's not at all. I applaud that. Like because ADHD is actually a power.
yeah, it is a
Superpower. It
superpower if you manage it, if
can
you
be,
manage it well. It
yeah,
can, yeah, it can get a little out of control, and I'm a little tired as well because the holidays, like with some of the things that went down, like I lost quite a bit of sleep. It's going to take a few days, I think, for me to recoup. But aside from that, I'm just loving life, and things have been going so good. I'm just so grateful to be here.
no, I usually ask this in the way after discussing like a form of like maybe AI or technology. Like what? Let's just say this. What are everything you've seen from this year alone and the last couple of years with AI? What are some lessons you can take away on the use of AI? I want to get into some tech stuff to
Yeah.
wrap it up.
I have some thoughts. I think that using AI is a new tool. It's essential. But with any new tool like the printing press when it came out, with any new tool when it comes out, it's gonna make shockwaves. People don't like change. People get afraid of change, and it shakes things up. Some jobs go away, but new jobs are ultimately created. So I think that we don't need to be as scared maybe as we are, but we should be bold. We should lean into it and use AI. So use it, learn about it, and make the most of it, make the best of it. But be careful because AI psychosis, on the other hand, is like, you know, AI psychosis is a real thing. Like people become delusional and like talk to their AIs. And like I'm very fortunate now, like now that I'm sober without the substances, I don't have my mind is not in like crazy altered states, I think, to where it would be tempted to think of the AI as anything other than just it's AI, like and it's not at the AGI stage right now. Like it is developing very well and very fast, but I've heard a lot of smart people say that like the infrastructure or just the I don't know how it works, but the I guess the architecture of the AI right now is not even capable of handling AGI. Like it would have to be a totally kind of new upgraded design. There would have to be new advancements
Yeah, like that
made.
may be the next wave.
Yeah, it's sort of
AGI.
the yeah, and it's not to say it won't come at some point in the near future, but I think that even without that, we have very good AI that is ubiquitous and changing our world in a lot of ways and may shift us away from having to use a capitalist system to where a lot of people are saying that work may be more optional. It may be something that we do for a sense of purpose. And that's great because that feeds back into remember that um, collusion of Darwinism and Christianity. Like sort of Darwinism is the kind of with backbone rising and thriving and conquering and then you've got the uh, Christianity, the spirit of surrender and honesty and truth and humility, combining those two things are just so powerful and I think so beautiful.
I like the tie-in back to like our conversation we've had, all streamlined through the tie-in with AI, and
Yeah.
it's all one to get like they've the people of history have gone through technological advances. You start off prehistory with then there's writing, then stone technology, and that all these new technologies that came up, and they were some people were scared, some people used them. The people who used them advanced themselves, amplified themselves a lot more, and this is just another example of technology, a new technology. Are you going to use it, or are you going to be afraid of it and not use it and be left
Yeah.
out, left back?
Be afraid of it and run from it. I mean, that's not going to work out too good. I mean, of course, with social media, like obviously we're seeing that social media has done a lot of damage, but at a certain point, they do start regulating it. Like, for example, in Texas now, the kids are not allowed to have their phones. And, as somebody who's worked in education and I've
Mm-hmm.
gone and done substitute teaching sometimes, like I come into the classroom and I tell the kids, like, you guys don't know how lucky you are that you're not allowed to use your phones during the school day. Like that shit is destroying your brain. Like you don't realize what it's doing. So
There's good, and then there's bad, and then
I
but
once wrote
to
a
get to the
song. It
good,
was like, get off the fucking computer. Get off your motherfucking cell phone. Get off the fucking computer. For the love of God, get off your motherfucking, or get
is
off the
this
fucking
from the
cell phone.
teacher
Uh,
perspective
um,
or the parent perspective?
that was from the younger me in a band just being silly perspective. I think I could see just the wave coming of people just obsessed. And then later I became a teacher and I saw the kids doing it, and I was just like, oh, oh. you know?
All right, I asked that one question, like the three lessons. I like the model off the first ever podcast I listened to, three lessons kind of thing. So talk about some lessons and where do we go from here on AI? Anything that was left out, or where can yeah, I know you're streaming to your Instagram. You're
Mm.
on your Instagram live too.
So much was left out. I would say go
We can
check
save it
out,
for another stream too.
yeah, two things, two action items. I've got homework for you people in the comments. Tell me, what do you think of my project that's coming out, the Battle Hymn of the Republic? Do you think that that has a chance to actually like move people and give people a sense that we actually can be in harmony and unity? Do you think music has the potential to move people's souls? Tell me what you think in the comments. And the other thing is go check out Dr. Shine's music. You can trust me. I'm a doctor. Dr. Shine is music for
A
the
doctor of
soul.
music.
Dr. Shine is fun. It's like one of the things I loved about the Beatles that inspired me so much about the Beatles is that they had just such a good, they just had a good time. They were just having fun. It was fun. And so if you listen to my music, you're going to hear that. And I have some cover songs of 60s songs, as I tried to play earlier, but I guess it didn't go into the stream, so I was like dancing with myself, which is fine. I can always I love to embarrass myself a little bit, but yeah, it would be great if we could figure out how to like actually stream. um I go listen to Dr. Shine because I've got like these are covers of old songs like Paint It Black, I Kiss Him Goodbye, American Sun is actually a cover of California Sun. Um, and yeah, it's good stuff. And Joe Dispenza, the song in particular, like, it's one of my older songs. I think the production could be a little bit better, but if you truly lay back and listen to the song and you don't laugh, like, I think you should go to the doctor and have your sense of humor examined. Truly.
That's how I feel about my favorite episode, Psych. Anyone who not that if you don't like it, then okay, I'm that okay. There's something wrong with you. But if you like that episode, like, we're definitely friends. We can be friends.
Yes,
That's how
indeed.
I feel.
Here, I'll click on the, to see the artwork just to get it up close and personal. Joe Dispenza. Actually, I was talking to this guy who says Joe Dispenza lives in Wimberley, Texas, and I would love to meet him. Like, I had this running
Really?
joke, where if Joe Dispenza ever actually listened to this song, so this is Joe Dispenza in the album artwork, and this is me, Dr. Shine, and this is like, he's like the puppet master, and he's like this. He's a self-help sort of guru, and like essentially kind of like a almost a new age sort of spiritualist, mystical science, if you will, like where he like measures, he does a lot of experiments. He's helped a lot of people. He's helped me a lot. He has this quote,
Mm-hmm.
the oh, how does it go? When you no longer regret the past, you now belong to the future. And so Joe Dispenza is awesome, but this song is so goofy and just like having a good time. I made it, years ago, so the production could be a little bit better. But like I would love to just see my dream is to see the look on Joe Dispenza's face if he ever just like listened to this song. And I just want to be in the room with him and just see the look on his face as he listens to it. Like
Well,
I
I
just can't imagine what he would do.
not personally, not like a one-on-one, but I was in the same room with Joe Dispenza like 2 years ago now when
No
Lewis
way.
Howe's School of Greatness. He has his Summit of Greatness that he started in Columbus, Ohio,
Oh my
and he moved
god.
in 2024. He moved it to Los Angeles, his new hometown. Lewis House is from Ohio.
That
In
is crazy.
At the Shrine Auditorium, Lewis and Joe. He's been on the podcast like multiple times too, and they had to sit down live podcast conversation right there in the Shrine Auditorium
Wait, Joe Dispenza?
with Joe Dispenza. Yeah,
He and the podcast is called Shrine. The
no,
Shrine.
his Lewis's podcast is the School of Greatness, and so
Oh, the
this is the
school. Oh,
Summit
okay.
of Greatness, which is an annual event.
Oh, gotcha,
So
gotcha.
at
Yeah,
the
you're gonna have to
Summit
send me
of
the link to
Greatness,
that. Maybe we can put that in the video description as well, for people to
yeah,
check out. Because
this is
Joe
like
Dispenza is good stuff. But what is also good stuff, and we can link this in the description, is this song. Joe Dispenza. It's just a good time, True, absolutely, truly. And it has actually a lot of audio clips from Joe Dispenza. Don't be mad, Joe. I'm sorry. Don't
so
be mad.
okay. So what for the next conversation we have in the next stream, maybe next week, depending on availability and whatever. What
Mhm.
Anything left out here? Where should we go next? Should we talk
Well,
on machines?
in the future, we're going to talk about where things are at with the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Here's the behind the scenes. This is my lyric worksheet. If you want to see it, I was thinking about getting this framed and
Mm.
having it be a giveaway prize for one of my mega fans
And let me tell you that
in the coming years.
the Doctor of Music, Doctor Shine, not just a composer anymore. That's just a little what do you call it? Teaser.
Yeah. So
Getting behind
yeah.
the mic as well.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth comes marching on.
that's a highlight of things to come with Battle Hymn of the
Yeah.
Republic.
Yep, I'll keep you updated on that. And after that project, I'm going to do another one. And that's going to be when Johnny comes marching home. The men were marching 3 by 3, hurrah, hurrah. And that one's going to be so much fun. People love these songs. They're going to be inspired. And that's why I'm just super excited for it. I feel like I love working on projects that are bigger than me. It's not just about me and my ego. I mean, I have a huge ego, but these projects are bigger than that, and that's the way it should be. I'm not trying to be in charge anymore. I'm
And I
trying to
guess
let God be
for
in charge.
yeah, totally. I guess for the final question, we can wrap it up here with this final question. And I've no doubt you're doing this, and you're doing a lot of good things. But I always like to ask, what is your definition of innovation?
Innovation, looking within and doing what you believe is right in the best possible way, the smartest possible way, when you must. It's what you must do. When we must do a thing, when we must achieve something, like, for example, I must raise up to, I think, $50,000 in order to promote the Battle Hymn of the Republic project. I must do that. In order to do that, I will innovate. In order to accomplish that, I have to innovate. So that's innovation to me.
And that hits me too. I must grow mine and help others grow their podcast and become, because that's the thing. I've stepped in to go all in on podcasting, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
that way about podcasting.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. Well, this has been
Thanks
great.
for this. This is fun, and look to maybe a weekly thing. Come back
In
and
the
talk about,
comments, tell us what you think. Drop us a line. Talk
and
next
we'll
time.
be back.
We'll be back.
Maybe answering some comments. And until then, peace out. And